This tutorial will be showing you how to set up a side-scrolling camera inside UDK using Kismet. As you can see here, I've built up a basic side level with a couple of collision boxes and a light mass importance volume to stop the players falling off, and a player spawn on the left hand side. First thing we're going to do is set our game type and our PIE type. So we do this by going up to the top, clicking view, go on world properties, and inside game type we should see default game type. We want to change this to UT game, and the game type for PIE, UT game as well. Now we can close this. This will create a playable character inside the game. So now we want to go up to the content browser inside UDK. At the top we want to go to actor classes, and we want to go to camera actor in the common tab. With that selected, we drag and drop it into the environment, and sometimes it dots around, sometimes it'll drop in front of you. So now we're going to take control of this camera and get it into the view that we want it to be in. So with the camera selected, if we click this little eye, lock selected cameras, we can take control of the camera. So now we just move it into the position we want it into, what we want to see from. So this would be our side camera. Once we got it there, we click the eye again, and then move, and then our camera is set to where we've just moved it. And now the second part is we want to create a duplication of this camera. So if we select it and hold Alt and then drag off the red, we'll create our second camera. We want to move this as close to the spawn point as possible. Just going to rotate it so it's straight. And we're going to move it down to match more of the height of the spawn point. We want to make sure these are perfectly in line. So we do not want to move the axis on the side unless we do select both cameras and move them at the same time. For now, what we want to do is we want to set up an attachment. So if we double click or push F4 on the first camera for the side scroller, and then expand the attachments tab, and then at the top here we should have lock selected option. With that, when we tick that, anything we select on the screen will keep this option panel open. So now we want to select on our second camera that's closest to the spawn point, and where it says base, there'll be a green arrow. We want to click that, and that'll paste in the name of our second camera. With that done, we want to tick the box for hard attach and ignore base rotation. We can now close this. Now we want to open up the options for the second camera. So if we double click that, and in the attachments tab again, we want to tick ignore base rotation. Now we can close that. You'll know the attachment's working. If you select your side camera and the green arrow will appear, that'll show that the attachment's working. Now it's time to move on to Kismet. Let's open up Kismet by clicking the K at the top. When Kismet open, first thing we want to do, right click in the grey space, go new events, player spawned. Okay, this will drop this node in. And we're going to change the trigger count to 0. Right click again, new actions, actor, attach to actor. Now if you hold control you can move these around. We want to plug the out of player spawned into the in of attached to actor. Now right click again on the grey space, go new variable, player. Okay, at the bottom here we want to set so all players is unticked, so then it just sets it to player 0, which is the player character. I'm going to plug instigator and target into the player. Now for the attachment, we want to select our second camera, the one closest to the spawn point. Then right click on attachment on attach to actor and click new object variable using camera and then the number of the camera. Should drop in a node that's plugged into the attachment tab. Now we need to set up our side scrolling camera. So if we select it, right click, new matinee, and we'll just move this out of the way. Plug the out of player spawned into the play of matinee, and then make sure looping's ticked inside matinee so that it never drop this. Now if we double click on matinee, it will open up the Unreal Matinee editor. In the left hand side on the grey space, if we right click and go add new camera group, and in our camera group we're going to name this side camera and click OK. Now we're going to right click again in the grey space and go add new director group. With the director selected, not DRI group, but the director selected, we're going to push enter on the keyboard. We get this box pop up. We want to make sure it says cut to group side camera, and then we want to click OK. This will drop this purple bar in. We can now close this, and you know it's working by saying side camera up there, and you have your camera actor plugged into the top there. We can close that now, and if we push the green button at the top here, not the blue one but the green one, it will play and you can see our character inside UDK working off a side-scrolling camera